Throughout the 90s, the Buffalo Bills have been proud champions. They have set a standard of excellence matched by few teams in NFL history. In 1994, however, the bright glow of success flickered away in a season of pain and frustration. It began with a bad opening day loss to the Jets and ended with a fitting final play of the season.
46 yards to win the game with 7 seconds to play. The kick is on the way. And it hit the upright. It hit the upright. Unbelievable. That's the kind of a season it's been.
Exactly. And that kind of summarizes what the season was for the Buffalo Bills.
The '94 Bills never could quite grab hold of the consistency that had taken them to an unprecedented 4 straight Super Bowls. And yet they never stopped battling and persevering through a year that still provided some memorable moments which added to Buffalo's proud tradition. In Buffalo's 35th anniversary season, it was a time to celebrate the accomplishments of Bills present and past. It was a time for Buffalo fans to remember when cornerback Butch Bird roamed the secondary and became the Bills' all-time leading interceptor. It was a time to relive a Joe Ferguson rainbow to the end zone. And a time to honor new Wall of Fame inductee Mike Stratton, who helped the Bills capture the 1964 AFL Championship with the hit heard round the world. But 1994 was also a year for several current Bills to write their names in the Buffalo record books. Quarterback Jim Kelly became the Bills' all-time leading passer. Andre Reed, the most prolific receiver in team history, set a club record for catches in a single season. One of the greatest runners of all time, Thurman Thomas, became just the 5th back in NFL history to surpass 1,000 yards rushing in 6 consecutive seasons. On defense, an old warrior named Darryl Talley extended his club record by playing in his 204th consecutive game. And All-Pro defensive end Bruce Smith continued to solidify his status as one of the greatest defensive players in NFL history. In a season of transition, the Bills continued to set new standards of excellence and reinforce the proud tradition of Buffalo football. Following their disappointing opening day loss to the Jets, the Bills looked to get their '94 season back on track in Week 2 in New England.
Kelly goes back to throw, looks downfield, wants to go long. Throws down there, Reed's got a touchdown. What a great throw.
Jim Kelly threw for 4 scores in the first half alone, and in the process surpassed Joe Ferguson as Buffalo's all-time leader in touchdown passes. In the second half, Buffalo's defense also found its way to the end zone.
Here we go on 2nd and 8. A pass coming up. Bledsoe is hit in the end zone. The ball is fumbled. It's fallen on by the Bills for a touchdown. It is Mike Lodish who falls on the ball for the touchdown.
But it would take a Steve Christie field goal with less than a minute remaining to seal the dramatic victory. The winning kick marked the start of a remarkable season for Christie, who would connect on a club record 17 straight field goals and take his place among the most accurate kickers in NFL history. But Christie wasn't the Bills' only dependable man on special teams.
Expect him to try and break it back this way a little bit. Let's stay on sides. Let's hit some. somebody. Let's hit somebody.
Racing under Chris Moore's booming punts once again was special teams ace Steve Tasker, who was named to his 5th straight Pro Bowl. Other veteran special teamers like Mark Pike, Carwell Gardner, and Kurt Schulz were joined by newcomers Mike Dumas and all-rookie selection Sam Rogers, number 93. Second-year man Yonel Jourdain made his mark by averaging more than 22 yards as the Bills' leading kick returner. And 1994's top draft pick, Jeff Burris, set a Bills rookie record for punt return yardage in a single season. Burris added to the special teams' ability to break open a game in so many different ways. And in week 3, it was once again Steve Christie's turn to come up big. The kicker hit on all 5 field goal attempts to give the Bills all the points they would need as Buffalo's defense shut down the Oilers.
Rolls out to the left a little bit, has a lot of time, and throws, and it's intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone and picked off by Matt Darby. A leaping interception by Matt Darby.
The throwback Bills won a throwback defensive struggle, with linebacker Darryl Talley registering a team-high 11 tackles. But it was all-pro defensive end Bruce Smith who caused the most destruction, as he ravaged Houston's blockers and stormed in for 4 sacks.
Bills showing blitz up the middle. Here they come. And Bruce hits him and sacks him. Another sack and a loose ball, and it's picked up by the Bills. Richardson drops back, cocks the arm, looks, and is sacked. He is hit from behind by guess who? Bruce Smith. So that will be his 4th sack of the afternoon. He was in like a shot, Merv.
1 week after the defense's old-fashioned win in Houston, the Bills once again turned the clocks back to celebrate their 35th anniversary in front of a national Monday night audience. With many of Buffalo's former greats on hand, fans had a chance to recapture old memories and watch their current Bills create some new ones against the Broncos. Phil Hansen had 1 of 4 Buffalo sacks on the night, as the Bills' defense made life miserable for John Elway. An interception by cornerback Mickey Washington helped set up a Bills score. But the real star of the night was running back Thurman Thomas, who rushed for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. Thomas's big night helped the Bills to their 3rd straight victory.
In the shotgun, and here is a run by Thurman at the 30, at the 25, at the 20, at the 15, down to the 10, down to the 5, and in for the touchdown. Thurman Thomas has done it again, and it is pandemonium here at Rich Stadium.
The 3-1 Bills were on a roll and appeared primed for another playoff season.
Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
After a tough loss in Chicago, the 3-2 Bills returned home for their most important game of the young season, a showdown to try and keep pace with the division rival Dolphins atop the AFC East. While the Dolphins were dazed, Jim Kelly and the Bills had a clear focus of what needed to be done. The veteran quarterback wasn't afraid to put his own body on the line to help clear a path toward the end zone.
Reed at the 30, at the 25, at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, and he is shoved out of bounds. Kelly threw a block out there. What a great call.
Kelly's gutsy block set up Thurman Thomas for the game's first touchdown.
Thurman in the tail of the eye. And here's Thurman running left, and he goes in standing up. Touchdown.
Thomas was displaying his own toughness on this day. 1 week earlier, He had sat out the Chicago loss with a sprained knee. Now he was back, rushing for a game-high 125 yards on 31 carries.
But don't wrap anything on.
I'm fine.
In the third quarter, the Bills' special teams reached deep down to make a big play of its own.
Another very good hang time. McDuffie at the 21, runs to the 25, fumbles the ball. Oh, it's loose. The Bills, I believe, have the ball.
One play after Mark Pike's strip and Bucky Brooks' recovery, Thurman Thomas sealed the victory.
Gives it to Thurman. He bangs it up the middle, breaks a tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5. He is in for the touchdown.
At 4-2, the Bills seemed ready for a strong run. But 1 week later, they again let a victory slip through their grasp. But these Bills weren't ones to dwell on tough bounces or bitter defeats. In fact, it seemed that each time they appeared to be left for dead, they somehow rose from the ashes and breathed new life into their playoff hopes. In Week 9 against the Chiefs, the Bills once again looked to prove that any reports of their demise were greatly exaggerated.
He lets it fly on the hitch and go, and it is caught for the touchdown by Andre Reed. What a great reception.
The Bills' offense came out firing on all cylinders as Andre Reed's 57-yard catch and run set up a Thurman Thomas score.
Ball down at the 2-yard line. Motion by the tight end, Merrill. And here is Thurman running left, and he will go in standing up for the touchdown.
Buffalo built a 31-7 halftime lead, thanks to a defense that was equally as impressive as the Bills' offense. Cornelius Bennett's strip of Joe Montana set up a Bills touchdown. But it was once again Bruce Smith who did the most damage, with 6 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 forced interception, and a sack for good measure.
Bruce got your number! It's all over you, Joe!
This movie is rated R. Adult language and violence. Lots of it.
Montana drops back in the pocket. Bruce is after him, and the ball is intercepted by Cornelius Bennett after Bruce hit him. Oh, man, did he blow in there like a freight train.
Bruce Smith has had an outstanding first half. We talked before about how many Hall of Famers are on the field. I know one thing. There is definitely one in the Bills uniform. Number 78 is going to camp.
Bruce Smith, game of the century. Game of the century. Bruce Smith.
The rest of the Bills' defense followed Smith's Hall of Fame example.
On the KC-41, rolling out to the right, Bono. He lets it fly, and it's intercepted there by Henry Jones. He has it in midfield, down to the 40, down to the 30. He's at the 20, at the 15, and he is out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Henry Jones picked it off.
Henry Jones and the Bills frolicked through an afternoon that brought out the little kid in everyone.
It's the only place where grown men can act like kids. It's out here on this green stuff. And not get in trouble or get laughed at. It's fun, isn't it?
It did appear to be child's play for the Bills, as Kelly's touchdown pass to Pete Metzelaars put the finishing touches on a win that once again resurrected Buffalo's playoff hopes.
Hey, no matter how bad they want to count us out, baby, we always come back. Again and again and again. We like Jason, man. Friday the 13th.
At 5-3, the Never Say Die Bills had proven they had plenty of life left in 1994. At midseason, the Bills hit another stumbling block in losses to the Jets and Steelers. The 7 sacks given up in Pittsburgh typified the heat Jim Kelly felt throughout much of the season. In a season of transition for the offensive line, injuries and inexperience only added to the unit's growing pains. Still, a gritty Kelly stood tough and stood behind his men up front.
Just everybody remember one thing. Everybody take care of their own assignment. We'll get this job done today, okay? Let's put it all together. Let's go!
Veteran Kent Hull took charge as the rock of stability in the middle of the line, starting all 16 games and helping in the development of young guards Jerry Ostrowski and number 68 Corbin Lucina. In a season of searching for the right combinations on the line, Buffalo got its greatest versatility from veteran Glenn Parker, who was called on to start at 3 different positions. Parker finished the season at right tackle after the injured John Fina returned at left tackle. Despite all the changes up front, Kelly was given enough time to post the highest completion percentage in the AFC. And just as his accuracy didn't drop off, neither did his ability to improvise when necessary. The hard-nosed Kelly did whatever it took to get the job done, and he was able to find the end zone for 22 touchdown passes, second in the AFC. Kelly had a promising young receiver and second-year man Russell Copeland, but once again his main target was perennial All-Pro Andre Reed, who in 1994 stretched himself beyond the limit with his finest season ever. The remarkable Reed was named to his 7th straight Pro Bowl and set a new team record with 90 catches. In Week 12 against the Packers, he scaled his greatest heights of the season in more ways than one. Reed vaulted into the Buffalo record book with 15 catches, a new single-game team mark, and he also scored 2 touchdowns in the much-needed victory. However, the Bills still found themselves at 6-6, heading into a critical Sunday night rematch in Miami. Again, many people had already counted the Bills out, and despite a Bill Brooks touchdown catch, Buffalo fell behind 17-7 by halftime. In the second half, however, the Bills regained their focus and lit up the Miami night with some of their most explosive plays of the season.
Downfield, and it is caught by Beebe, and he runs down 3 to the 20, down to the 10, down to the 5, and in for the touchdown.
Don Beebe's bobbling touchdown bomb marked the start of a half filled with unbelievable Buffalo bounces. Matt Darby's second interception of the night wasn't half as bizarre as Andre Reed's first completion of the season.
And here's a reverse to Reed, and he drops the ball. He wants to throw downfield. He's got a man there, and it's caught at the 20-yard line. And down to the 15, to the 10 is Brooks, and he's shoved out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Andre Reed with an incredible pass off that dipsy-doodle play. Do not adjust your set.
No, this was really happening. And the Bills' wildest show of the season got even stranger by the minute.
Stoyanovich hits it downfield, and it is taken there by Jourdain at the 10 to the 15, 20, 25. He fumbles the ball, and it's caught by another Bill, and he breaks it off to the left side. He's in the clear, down 1 man to beat. What a play. Mike Dumas.
We need a thunderclap right now. I mean, talk about an act of God. Can you believe a play like that?
The sky is falling, I believe, here.
4 plays after Mike Dumas' heads-up recovery, Carwell Gardner barreled in for his second touchdown of the night. But the Bills weren't done just yet.
Here's Kelly to throw. He pulls it down, throws, Reed's got it at the 30, at the 40, midfield, he's in the clear. At the 40, the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and in for the touchdown.
Buffalo exploded for 35 second-half points in its most entertaining win of the year. The Bills' sweep of Miami improved their record to 7-6. But as the playoff race heated up, they still needed a strong finish to ice a spot in the postseason. The long, hard struggle Buffalo had put up all year ended in painful disappointment. Jim Kelly's knee injury in Week 15 signaled the start of a 3-game losing streak that finished any hopes of a return to the playoffs. It was a bitter end to a difficult season, but one which the Bills certainly can learn from, as they put 1994 behind them and look ahead to 1995. With a renewed sense of purpose, Marv Levy and his Bills look forward to tackling the challenges ahead, and some new faces will also look to help Buffalo return to a championship level. New defensive coordinator Wade Phillips will add an aggressive game plan that will be built around the immense talents of number 78 Bruce Smith. Smith is still at the top of his game and is once again sure to be the defensive catalyst. In the new defensive system, Smith and the Bills will be attacking even more in 1995.
Come on, D! Come on now!
Also looking to get after the ball will be number 97 linebacker Cornelius Bennett, as well as Mark Maddox, Marlo Perry, and number 90, Phil Hansen. To help bolster the defense, the Bills will look to free agent acquisitions like Pro Bowl linebacker Bryce Popp, nose tackle Ted Washington, and former Cowboy Jim Jeffcoat, a veteran pass rusher who recorded 8 sacks for Dallas in 1994. More pressure from the line will help a young secondary that features promising players like cornerback Thomas Smith, as well as safeties Henry Jones and number 43 Matt Darby, the team's leading interceptor last season. And the Bills will look for bigger things from 1994's top draft pick Jeff Burris. On offense, the Bills feature emerging young talents like number 84 tight end Lonnie Johnson. Other young targets include Bucky Brooks and number 85 Russell Copeland, who will help complement one of the top receivers of all time, Andre Reed, just one of several Bills' future Hall of Famers. With superstars like Jim Kelly continuing to rewrite Buffalo's record books, and Thurman Thomas still working his magic, the Bills will once again possess enough weapons to fight their way back to the top of the season ahead. They have grown from the pains of 1994 and are poised to regain their championship form in 1995, ready to add more great memories and extraordinary achievements to the proud tradition of the Buffalo Bills.